One thing I would do if I could go back in time, I would go back before civilization. I would go back before man. And I would look at the world as it is before, um, like we came and cut down trees and removed stones and do whatever and like just kind of completely reshape the landscape. I want to see what the world looked like before, like what nature looked like untouched. Because it's really hard to find untouched nature nowadays. Even areas that have been turned into like wildlife reserves and like state parks and stuff, they weren't like reserves and state parks for hundreds of years. So in that time, all the best trees could have been removed. All the biggest trees that are the best for lumber got removed, and um, what we experience today is not what it initially was. And I just, not that I kind of hate that I've never got to see it, because I'm sure it was beautiful. Because it's beautiful now. But I just, when I go into the woods and I find like a really big tree, uh, but like if I find like a tree that like I can't even put my arms around, even if there was two of me, like if I find a tree like that, that kind of, it kind of makes me a little sad to think about, because I imagine that there had to have at least been a couple of those trees darted throughout the woods. And I feel like it's very rare to find one of those now, because obviously you're going to like those trees are going to be the best for wood. You would chop down the big ones. It just makes sense. I don't know. I feel like it would have been so cool to see what the world looked like, and what, like I live on the Jersey coast, like what the Jersey coast looked like before it got turned into lagoons, and the island was turned into just a bunch of houses. Like I think it would be just really cool to see, to experience once. I don't know. If there's somewhere in the world where I could go to that's still relatively untouched, I think I would really want to go there and just see what it looks like. I think it'd be hard to find nowadays, and it kind of makes me a little sad. But it is the world that we live in, and there's not much that can be done about it. I can't be mad at anyone for it. But it's just one thing that I really wish that I could see. I don't know. I just think that because I've been to some places where it hasn't been touched like in a while, and it's just incredible. And like there's different ecosystems, and there's different like types of forests and stuff. Like I live by the Pine Barrens, and the Pine Barrens is just a massive forest of pine trees. Like that's so cool. And just things like that, I think would be like, I don't know. There's so much of the world I want to see for that exact reason, just to see the unique ecosystems and the unique kind of way that the plants kind of adapted to the environment. But I feel like a lot of what it originally looked like is kind of lost. And it's a shame, but that's definitely one thing that I would do. Don't really care much for changing the course of history. I'm kind of a firm believer that there's really no point of changing the past, because things kind of happen the way they do for a reason. You know, you may think that you're doing a great good by changing something in the past, but it turns out that all you've done is made things worse. And I feel like things could be worse now. So, I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know. We can kind of repair it in the present. I feel like trying to change things in the past is just kind of a cop out. You know. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk about. Just how I think that it would be really cool to see the world or nature before it's been changed by man. And yeah, peace.